Hey everybody! Today I'm here to share with you 5 books that I can't wait to read. 5 books that are sitting at the top of my TBR and are calling to me. You know how that feeling is. So let me tell you about them as soon as possible so you can read them too. Let's get started. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? I hope you guys are doing very, very well. As always, I hope you are safe, I hope you are healthy, and I hope you are just reading amazing books right now because it has been a very good reading year. There have been a lot of great books. Well, there were a lot of great books last year, so if you're reading some of those still too, go for it because it's amazing. Today I am here to share with you 5 books that I cannot wait to read myself. 5 books that are sort of sitting at the top of my TBR. As you always know, my TBR is very fluid. It's huge. I have lots of books, but sometimes you walk by a stack of books or you walk by a book and it just sort of talks to you. And these are 5 books that have been speaking to me rather loudly. So as always, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, however you keep track of your TBR. If you are so able, please order a book or 2 from your local independent bookstore. You know that they need you. And if you are a library user, get those libraries on it. Get your library copy in your hands as soon as possible. The first book I am going to tell you about, I have actually already started. I'm over halfway through, and that is The Removed by Brandon Hobson. This was actually one of my most anticipated reads of 2021 because Brandon's last book, Where the Dead Sit Talking, which was shortlisted for the National Book Award a couple of years ago, was one of my favorite reads that year. I absolutely loved it. So I was so excited to see what he was going to do next. And so far, he is not disappointed. So I want to say thank you to ECCO for sending me this early copy. This book is actually out now. You can get your hands on it. I am trying to find a place to order where I can get myself a signed copy because I want this on my shelf signed. There you go. That's what I'm on the hunt for. The Removed is the story of the Ichota family. I hope I'm saying that right. They are a Cherokee family, most of them living in Oklahoma. Sadly, about 15 years ago, Ray, which was their middle son, was shot and killed at a mall by a police officer. This book deals with that loss and other forms of loss throughout the family. We have Maria, who is the mother, who is dealing with the fact that her husband has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and is struggling with his memory and his sense of place. We have the oldest daughter, who is how to explain her? She struggles to create meaningful relationships. So Sonia has relationships with men that may not be, they're not, the best choices for her. And that sort of created a reoccurring theme. Now, when Ray was alive, she was very secluded. She was very isolated herself. She did it to herself. So her world is sort of different. It's interesting. Like, she doesn't drive a car. She only rides a bike everywhere she goes. And so she's definitely has issues with relationships. Then we have Edgar, who is the youngest son, who is a drug addict. I would like to say recovering, but at this point in the book, he is not. And his family tried to do an intervention for him, which really only drove him away. He is actually in Albuquerque. And the family gets together once a year around a Cherokee holiday to have a bonfire in order to celebrate the memory of Ray. Now, no one knows if Edgar's coming. The father is just, sort of continuing down the path of Alzheimer's, and everything is going on when a young Cherokee boy is asked to be fostered by Maria and her husband and moves into the home. And we get, the chapters sort of go around from all of these different perspectives. We also get a perspective, sort of like a historical perspective from a voice that I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like if history had a way of speaking, that is this voice. And I am absolutely loving it. I've talked about this book too much. It's not a review because I'm only half done. But you guys, The Removed by Brandon Hobson is serious. And it is fantastic. And it is out now from ECCO Books, and you can get your hands on it. So please, please do. And if you haven't read Where the Dead Sit Talking, I recommend going back and getting that one too, because it is very, very good. Okay, the next book is actually going to be kind of fun. Dan and I have to take a road trip, a very, very, very long road trip in the coming days. And when we do that, we always listen to an audiobook. And we have sort of this science fiction, fantasy sort of genre we sit in. And we try to find something that will just sort of entertain us and really inspire us just to listen as we are driving together. And so this year I have chosen Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. This is out from Tor. It came out, I think it just came out. And I want to say it just came out. I think it came out on February 9th. I apologize if that is incorrect. But this is everything we need for this road trip, you guys. This is a space interplanetary drama cycle with a gay romance at the heart of it. So I'm going to read it to you. It says, a famously disappointing minor royal and the emperor's least favorite grandchild, Prince Kiem, is summoned before the emperor and commanded to renew the empire's bonds with the newest vassal planet. The prince must marry Count Genian, the recent widower of another royal prince of the empire. But Genian believes his late husband's death to be no accident, and Prince Kim discovers Genian is a suspect himself. But broken bonds between the empire and its vassal planets leave the entire empire vulnerable. So together they must prove that their union is strong while uncovering a possible conspiracy. Does that not sound like it's going to be a fantastic audiobook to listen to? I just bought it. I am super ready for it. And Dan and I will report back. So that's Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell, out now, I believe, from Tor. If it's not out now, it's out any day. And I'm super, super, super excited for that one. The next book is Milkfed by Melissa Broder. Now, I loved the Pisces so very, very much, and I am so excited to read Melissa's newest book. This is the story of Rachel. She's 24, and this is how I'm encapsulating this book in my mind, because I don't want to get too much into it, because what I loved about Melissa's book, The Pisces, is that it absolutely surprised me, so I want to allow her to surprise me again. But Rachel is a young woman who counts calories, has been very cognizant of her body, of her weight, really dictated by the relationship she has with her mother. And then what happens is her psychiatrist, or her, I think it's a psychiatrist, I want to make sure, therapist, just a therapist, recommends that she sort of takes a break from her mother, takes a break from the calorie counting that she does, and just experiences life, where she meets a young woman who sort of gives her a completely different perspective on life. That's all I want to know. Melissa Broder is hilarious. She tends to be bawdy. She tends to be very truthful, and I really feel like I always recognize her people so well. I see them as people I know in the world. I hope that makes sense. So I'm super, super excited to read Milkfed by Melissa Broder. This came out. You can get your hands on it. And I am really excited for this one. If you haven't read The Pisces, you really should read The Pisces, because it is a trip. The next book is out as well, and that is Abundance by Jakob Guanzon. I'm hoping I'm saying your last name, Jacob, right. It's out from Graywolf Press. And this is the story of a father and a son who are really just they're just down on their luck. They don't have a home anymore. The father is struggling to find work. And the son is also, there was something about the son that I can't remember all of a sudden. But what happens is it's the son's birthday. That's right. It's the son's birthday. The father has an interview the next day. Things look like they're going to be coming around the bend. And what happens is an altercation occurs and things sort of get derailed. And can they get themselves back on track so they can get their life into a better place? What's fascinating about this book is that each chapter is sort of titled by the amount of money in the father's bank account and the amount of money that they have in order to survive in this world as they deal with what's going on, their relationship, and all of that. I hope I sold that better at the end than I started at the beginning, because I definitely am very excited about this book. So that is Abundance by Jakob Guanzon. This is out from Graywolf Press. You can get your hands on it right now. Thank you very much, Graywolf Press, for this early copy. You know what? This isn't out now. This comes out March 2nd. March 2nd. I don't know why I thought March 2nd and February 2nd were the same days. Yeah, it's been a long week, y'all. So, but get your hands on Abundance because I think it's going to be very, very good. Okay, the last book just arrived the other day, and I remember when I read a review of it in Publishers Weekly, I believe, I thought it sounded really, really interesting. And it's really got an interesting premise, and that is Superhost by Kate Russo. Now, this is the story of Bennett, and I'm going to read this one just because I want to make sure that I get it because it just arrived. Bennett Driscoll is a Turner Prize nominated artist who was once a rising star. Now, at age 55, his wife has left him, he hasn't sold a painting in 2 years, and his gallery wants to stop selling his work, claiming they'll have more value retrospectively, or meaning when he's dead. So, left with a large West London home and no income, he's forced to move into his art studio in the back garden, and he lets his property on a rental site called Airbed. A stranger in his own home with his daughter Mia off at art school, and on any new relationships fizzling at best, Bennett struggles to find purpose in his day-to-day. That all changes when 3 different guests, lonely American Alice, tortured artist Emma, and cautiously optimistic divorcee Christy unwittingly unlock the pieces of him that have been lost to him for so long. So this just sounds like it's going to have a certain amount of charm to it. I love the idea of sort of strangers making us recognize maybe that our life isn't as bad as we think it is, and that there's a lot of potential still after there, even though we're sort of down on ourselves. I'm really excited about this one. It sounds like it may actually be a really great summer read, but I'm going to read it soon. So that is Superhost by Kate Russo. This is out from Putnam, and it came out on the 9th, so you can get your hands on it right now. So I have to say thank you to Putnam for sending me this beautiful finished edition. So that is 5 books that I plan to read very, very soon. One I'm already reading, and one we're going to start in a car ride in a matter of days. So let me hold that up for you guys right there. I hope that all of these books wind up on your TBR. I hope, as always, that I have inspired you to read something different. Maybe choose a book that normally wouldn't be on your TBR. If you are a return subscriber, thank you. I couldn't do this without you. If you are new to my channel, I thank you very, very much. As always, I encourage you to read globally, shop locally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye!